We're dead. You saw those explosions. There's no way we would have survived, or our tank.
Oh yeah, well,
but
Lord
actually we
knows,
did.
That was,
instead, we get a picture of a bus with the Mario brothers looking on, the dystopian Mario and Luigi.
It's a me.
Wow. Okay. Luigi, what have you got us into this time?
I don't know, Mario. I don't know.
I found this baby JPEG of Toad.
We're gonna need lots of spaghetti.
The baby JPEG is like,
Wario! Wario! Waluigi!
Oh god. And I guess Mario joined the Korean army there.
I don't think he would. He's an American citizen, I'll have you know. Or was, rather.
Oh. We have pictures of bananas on a tree and Jesus on a swing set.
Oh, you know, Jesus on his famous swing set. Classic artwork right there.
So you take more punishment than a man could live through.
We lived, by the way.
When you're ready, I'll show you around.
Please tell me we now have like bionic limbs or something.
Nope.
That would be like, oh.
We're a pilot.
That'd be too cool.
That would be too cool. No cool things allowed. Except, why is that plant upside down on the ceiling?
Oh, it's a type of plant. It's a type of way of basically hanging plants. So you can put them inside.
I've seen that done.
Yeah, and you irrigate them. I have them outside my house.
I just thought like the fucking like map makers are just fucked up.
No.
They're just like, put it on the ceiling, whatever, who fucking cares?
No, but the artist did fuck up because we can see a bunch of ghost outlines where they didn't fill in. And seeing as that's an entity, not a physics object, it's got a weird ghostly hue. It's sucking out light for the tomatoes, I guess.
I am the ghost plant.
Shouldn't you want it like a bit more in front of the light rather than in the corner of the room where it won't get any sunlight?
Yeah, tomato plants need sunlight. Cress, you could use in a closet like that.
Yeah, but you wouldn't grow cress upside down. You just grow it in a tray.
Of course.
Why are we talking about this?
Because we brought it up. And who wants to play some foosball? We can't because there's only one blue player against five little reds.
Oh, that's
really
kind
shit
of unfair.
foosball table.
That's really unfair.
I mean, what's great is that you can see the hole where the ball's put in, and no one can reach it. So it'll just drift.
It's all a commentary on how the Koreans have taken over the thing, and we're the blue person, and we're the only person who can defend American freedom.
I hope that's not actually the case.
I think you're reading into it wrong. I think you're reading into it, which is the mistake of this game.
Reading into the fact that there's any sort of subtext whatsoever.
No, the subtext is we hate anyone not white. So cutscene is going to happen now. Yeah, I want to go down the stairs.
Welcome to your new home.
I want to go down the stairs.
I like this sort of meth lab looking fucking tomato growing plot.
It's a compound here.
Yeah. I just love the fact that the blue plastic sheeting in front of the tomatoes makes it look like a meth lab to me. Not that I know what a meth lab looks like, but that's my
I've seen it on
impression.
TV.
I've seen. Oh, actually, I haven't. I haven't seen Breaking Bad, so I guess I can't really even use that as a defense.
I've seen most action films from the 90s.
I like that I said cutscene and you're still talking.
Sorry, forgot.
Talk to Connor about ammo.
Yeah, well, basically in that cutscene we were just given the tour. I've got subtitles on so you can read it there. But they're basically talking about, oh, it's so nice, we're living free here. With our chandeliers made from DVDs. You know, I'm surprised they didn't spring for like DVD covers of USA Invasion USA or some other Chuck Norris film. But we've also got the alphabet, so we can go prone and look at the alphabet. There it is. We got run and hide rubbed out. Like, that's not information they need anymore. But this sort of sets up, like, there are people trying to hang on to the ideals of America and, like, have internalized it. It's basically a hippie commune, where they're turning batteries into things.
So has the sort of Western alphabet been banned or something then? Is that what they're trying to teach
Oh my
kids
god,
the
I
alphabet?
guess that's the implication of it, or the implication is that schools aren't around anymore.
Well, there you go.
There's that sweet Homefront subtext for you.
I knew it was there somewhere.
Also, the
I was
teacher
right
can't,
about the foosball.
the teacher can't write in between the lines there for the letter M and N.
Huh.
I'm not sure if that's saying anything, no, but maybe that's my opinion of this game.
No.
No. No.
Also, son.
Son.
Oh, is that...
No lights.
This means we're set to go. I'm damn tired of
Oh well, this is enthralling and all, but I feel like moving on to the next shooty bang bang set piece.
So,
Once we're allowed.
reason why I want us to be quiet in cutscenes is because if you listen to the audio, the voice acting recording cuts out halfway through the sentence.
Connor's a good man to
Nice.
fight.
Yeah.
Look around if you like. I'll meet you out back.
Hey, what you cooking? Soup? What are you whisking to put in soup? Is that flour? Oh, I'll have to go the long way round. Hey children! Can't jump on them, there's an invisible wall, sadly. But hey, it's the woman we saved, with her JPEG baby, that's now been up-resed.
Finally. Why don't we put all our children behind invisible walls, then we can save them?
Because they're not real.
Oh. Well, the
Yeah.
babies are the invisible walls.
Both.
Oh.
So this game avoids being called racist by having Asian people being in the resistance as well.
We're not racist. We have Asian friends.
Yeah, pretty much. So, you know, keep the baby next to the highly illegal plans, like an ancient typewriter that's still around in the year 2024. Thank goodness for hipsters. And yeah, this is what happened to the US. Apparently all of that's radiation. We don't go there.
I love the matte circuit board that's lying on the side there.
Yeah. Oh well. Oh, there's some more copies of the... These are just photocopied from what was above our bed, and yeah.
Yeah, to be fair, I wouldn't want to go to an irradiated place in this game because I feel like whatever mechanic they'd implement would be infuriating and unfun.
There's an irradiated mechanic in Homefront: The Revolution. I say mechanic, it's a thing that happens that they wanted to be a mechanic, but to get around that, your character just puts a mask on and then the game continues as normal.
Oh,
boy.
Cool.
Yeah.
I was going to say Metro did it quite well, from what I
We have to time
recall.
our movements between Korean
Metro
patrols.
2033 and Last Light, they were apparently quite good at
Might introduce yourself.
doing irradiated
Turn on the other side of the yard.
sort of
Yeah.
areas.
That game also had racists in.
Yeah, that's true.
You were fighting them.
That's good.
Receiver should let us listen in.
You were on the right side for once.
I'm not sure how well it's gonna work.
Well, not for once, but
Any
you know
warning's
what I
better
mean.
than none, right?
Compared to this game.
The KPA figures we're out here somewhere, but we're well hidden.
So, these
Nothing
look
like
like,
being surrounded by an ocean of abandoned suburbs.
I'm not sure what they are. Apparently that's fuel. But when I first saw this, I looked at them and was like, oh, bluebells, they're filled with water. They're like rain catchers. But why are they under the shade? But apparently it's fuel. It's biofuel. So even though you can't stop, you invade America, you can't stop us from burning fuel.
Methane gas will always prevail.
That's
okay.
what's
Well, it's I look forward to checking out the playback of this one, but I may have to love you and leave you now because I've been called out for a recording session. So, oh boy, I've narrowly dodged a whole bunch of racism and a lot of explosions. But thank you for having me on. I'll see you later,
free
guys.
to drop back in when you finish, by the way.
I've got a few hours to go, but I know these can go on for a bit. So if I'd finish before you do, then yeah.
Cool. See you, bud.
Maybe coming back for a climax. See you later.
Hi. So as we were saying goodbye to David, we got pushed off the table by the AI. So the skeletons do have physics to them.
Well, that's a plus, I think.
I'm happy for them.
Huh? Some pilot. Part of
Hava
Boone,
rigged
San
this system
Francisco
up so I don't have to
Makes
haul the
me
water
nervous.
by hand anymore. Who's the new guy?
Huh? Some pilot. Part of Boone's San Francisco plan.
I'm right in front of you. Why don't you speak to me?
Glad to see stepmasters still exist.
Yeah. They've hooked it up to pumps by the look of it, and that's how they're pumping water out the ground. Or that's how they're irrigating crops. Hey kid, let me push you. I'm not allowed to touch the child.
Do not touch the child. That is
touch
not
the
allowed.
kids.
That isn't verboten. That is verboten.
You believe this? Damn goats eat through anything.
What goats eat through anything? I'm just here milking my goats. This one's a male. This one's
Goat's cheese.
yeah, goat's cheese and milk. Good for protein. I think it's healthier than cow's milk, so...
I had to get some milk, actually.
Hey Boone, it's Hopper. Patrol's
Thanks for reminding me.
You're welcome. I'm glad we can inform you with this stream.
Yay.
about time.
Listen, we could use your help. We're down a few men and tonight's mission is key. The equipment we're after paves the way for everything that follows.
We'll be outnumbered and outgunned. Grab a weapon and all the ammo you can carry.
So we're going to be outmaneuvered and outgunned, so like normal, and now we pick up guns again, and an earpiece. We've got an M16.
Ah, good old M16. The grottiest M16 imaginable.
Yep. So yeah, we're not allowed to kill her. I wish it was... I prefer games where when you shoot someone who's an ally, they die, and then everyone turns against you and you get a game over when you get killed by everyone.
I kind of see... I can see that. I can see the logic behind that, but I think if like, you shoot an friendly NPC in the middle of it...
Sorry for a grenade, carry on.
Okay, fair enough. If you oh god, I lost my train. That grenade has destroyed my train of thought.
Fuck that. I'm gonna blow it up.
No, if you're in an intense firefight, and you accidentally shoot a companion, and then all your friends start shooting you, that I can see that being a bit of a pain in the arse.
If you do it by accident. That's usually why they limit it to 2 AIs.
Yeah. Or you could just do that thing where you point the gun away when you point at a friendly.
Hmm.
Hurry up.
That makes the game feel claustrophobic to me.
Ah. See, I just think you wouldn't normally in real life point a gun at someone's face, because as soon as you do that, they'll turn around and beat the shit out of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. What the fuck are you doing?
Great work back there. Thanks for your help with Goliath.
Hey, great work climbing up that ladder.
Targeter. Looks like you got the hang of it.
So,
Achievement unlocked. You climbed
this
the
guy
ladder.
is apparently Korean, and he's our friend for the rest of the game.
Mortar, but there's a sentry tower between us and the playground.
Why haven't we taken it out?
Wasn't here last time we scattered. We can find a way around it.
You can see the fear in his eyes.
You can't leave any of them standing.
Yep. No, that's just the character model. Because they don't emote. This is pre-emotion.
Pre-David Cage.
Yes.
No emotions here.
Even though it came out after Indigo Prophecy, the game in which David Cage dances with a woman in his underwear in a parking lot.
Hopper, shut up. Jacobs, just throw a grenade at the back of him.
That is the true
Gotta make our way up the
emotions.
street.
Yeah, that's where emotions come from.
Then move.
Dancing.
If you're caught in its sights, get to cover and wait.
These things are smart, but they're not that smart.
I'll go first.
So, these appear in a few times in the game. These towers. They're miniguns attached to a spotlight. And, you know, you step in the spotlight, minigun happens. And you die pretty quick.
Imagine. They do feel very, City 17, though, calling back to Half-Life 2.
Yeah. I mean, Homefront the Revolution has a very City 17 vibe as well. But it also has like the very same art style as XCOM 2, and they came out at the same time, so it just looks like that you're being occupied by the Advent the whole time.
Oh boy.
Keep going. I got your back.
Yay, we killed the crane.
Woo! Take that, construction equipment.
Rihanna, we just took down a sentry tower less than 100 yards from the tunnel exit. Stay put.
I will. See you soon.
Oh. We have to wait for one of the characters to get over so we can continue the story.
Wait for me!
So there are actually collectibles in this game. There are little newspapers that appear in these sorts of locations. I already picked them up in a previous playthrough. But they're really boringly written. And not written like an actual newspaper.
Your shot, we go. Come on, smoke that guy.
So now we actually have an option in the game. The game's only going to start the sequence until we kill someone.
Take the shot.
And they told us kill the guy up there.
What are you
so
waiting for? Shoot.
Never mind, we missed.
Oh no.
And now game continues.
More shooting! I love how the blinds are bulletproof.
Oh yeah. The lack of recoil really makes it feel like we're not actually shooting a gun, and that the enemy's just falling over from embarrassment.
They die of like second-hand embarrassment for you.
You also realise that we have different sights for the same guns. This is like we don't get an option to customise the guns ourselves. We just pick up guns with new attachments.
Oh, that sucks. I love a bit of customization.
Yeah. It also means that we're scavenging around, like to find new weapons. You scavenge around and you get a completely different sight.
I love how that guy just did like a twirl on the floor whilst she was shooting him in the face. It's like, I'm going to turn around and look behind me.
Yeah, it's, when you get shot, you dance. You dance the bullets away.
Shoot him again, his soul is still dancing. Sorry,
you sound like Connor.
This way.
This is the drop.
It's supposed to be Nicolas Cage, but...
Oh, and now we're picking up explosives from a school.
Where all good explosives are kept.
Yeah. Oh, this is tasteless. This hasn't aged well.
The
bit where you're going into a school armed.
Oh no.
Yeah. I mean, in 2011, it was tasteless.
Bloody hell, yeah. Oh god, I actually feel a little bit queasy.
Now this bit, the game gets really weird. Like, it gets these characters make you feel uncomfortable.
And I've realised I haven't actually had any dinner, so I might have to run after the next quiet section. I'll stay for another action section. You might run.
What is this bleeding heart bullshit? We are.
Yeah, white phosphorus.
That's a lot of blood.
Yeah, he brought white phosphorus, so I had the rational reaction of going, white phosphorus, what the fuck's wrong with you? And he said, you're a bleeding heart liberal. And that's the point in the game where you realise, oh, the writers were pro horrible things. Because White Phosphorus, if you don't know, it's been banned by the Geneva Convention because it's basically pouring down liquid fire on you that burns for a long time and very hot. And if you've ever played Spec Ops: The Line, you know how horrible it is. And this game does the same thing of Spec Ops: The Line. And now we have to spend our time with Connor, the horrible person that wants people to burn alive. And it gets more awkward later on when the game actually uses it.
I hope he makes it.
Yeah. So Spec Ops: The Line is basically Homefront but good.
It's Spec Ops: The Line is based on Heart of Darkness.
These must be the weapons.
Homefront is based on Red Dawn. So now we get some new weapons to pick up. We get an SMG, which is pretty nice, and an LMG, which obviously we're going to take. We also have silenced weapons, like a marksman rifle, spawn shot, but there's no silencing mechanics, so there's no point in using it. Well, hey, we get to take that mannequins that are in a school. Yeah, that one lived because it is strong.
Strong.
The playground. I get it now.
The strongest mannequin.
The playground. I get it now. What?
What's the plan?
Yes, playgrounds are things.
The front gate should be lightly guarded. We make a lot of noise, take a few of them off, and draw the rest out of the camp. Then we sneak in the back door.
That line makes no sense.
Stick to the plan.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Oh, and by yelling, we got exposed. Thanks, AI. I'm moving up. What?
Hey?
What's the plan?
And we instantly died. So I guess we'll just break the sequence ourselves.
Yeah. I think at this point I need to go make some dinner. If that's
Okay.
alright. I will be back in the chat, but I'll be in
Go away for a while. That's alright.
Yeah. No worries.
Thanks for dropping by. Goodbye for now.
That's all right. See you in a bit.
Oh, that's Connor. Oh no, I accidentally shot my friend. How terrible.
Entry tower, get to cover.
Get out of the street!
So now at this point the game's kind of milking its new mechanic and saying, hey, isn't this really cool? By having us to hide in cover in an FPS. Whoa. Groundbreaking. But instead it's just annoying and boring.
Find a way around it.
Because really all sequences like this do is slow the game down. And, you know, it can work in single player because it forces the player to look around the environment and move cover to cover. While also keeping an eye on the enemies. But as you can see there, all my AI buddies are just running out through the middle. So it doesn't matter. And they'll only get hit in scripted sequences. Which will only happen if they're an ethnic minority. Because this game is awful. And the writers are terrible. Horrible people. So as you can see with the LMG as well, it's functionally the same as any other gun. You hold down the things until things go boom.
Into the house, upstairs. We can hit it from above. Moving up.
So I threw all the grenades, but luckily we picked some more up. You know, we can't throw them through the grate. We're actually meant to go through the gap here, but We look upstairs. We also have a way of getting around. You know, making that whole thing feel pointless.
Head for the supply tunnel. We need to be gone before they mobilize.
That's also the only way I describe an explosion as looking flaccid, is that the tower just kind of dropped over in the lamest way possible. Come on.
Over here.
Time to use secret tunnels. I'm not allowed to go in first myself, of course, because I have to let the real characters go through the game. And using that as a rule of letting the characters go first, we're now going to break the game.
Like the plan's working. They're sending out a response team.
I hate this place. People in here used to be doctors and lawyers. Now they're working the shale mines. Last time I was here, I saw my fucking dentist.
Coast should be clear by now.
I also don't get what that dialogue was. I saw my dentist. So a way to break the game is... I didn't manage to get it there. I'm going to restart the checkpoint and we're going to endure the dialogue. Gotta get in. Nope. Oh, they must have patched it. They must have patched it. But if you get on the ladder, like I have in this game, get on the ladder before your the second AI buddy. He kind of glitches out and is stuck in the animation of climbing a ladder while on top of the ladder. And you can't proceed in the game because he's stuck in that and the game thinks you're downstairs in the tunnels. And also for no reason whatsoever we got our weapons taken away and thrown in the dumpster and that all changed. But oh no, internment camp, it's all made of garbage.
I'm looking for a guy named Arnie.
Fuck. Arnie's in the back. Across the street, over the scaffold.
Look at these low JPEGs.
You assholes get caught, I've never seen you before.
What do you want?
You know, you should desolder the capacitors first.
Isn't it bad enough I gotta scrape these for my food rations?
Sorry, I'm not trying to help.
So after that massive gunfight, there's no guards around that are suspicious that there's like armed, you know, militants killing people. So instead they just leave us. The game just changes sequence.
That look like recovery to you.
Wolverines, there's a reference. And this is one of the glitches that I wanted to mention. There's meant to be floor here, but there isn't. So if we watch the real characters, they jump down, they think they have a gun, but they don't. Oh, I guess only white people can teleport up 5 feet. Sorry. And because we're stuck in walking, we don't have the momentum to jump over. And we're stuck behind an invisible wall. So we have to restart the sequence. And there's the floor that was meant to be there. Good. I'm glad that's there.
You guys are part of the resistance, aren't you? Shut up, Steve. Jesus.
Welcome to the Korean vision of America, Jacobs. That look like
What?
recovery to you.
Just ignore my idiot friend. We don't want any trouble.
That's not how you do audio mixing, game. It comes from the character, not the location. But it's a scripted location because he's the real character and you're gonna just follow him like this. Do I grovel low enough for you, Connor, the insane murder person?
God damn it. Are you trying to get us
Get that Korean piece of shit away from me.
Oh.
I'm an American.
I was born in Oakland, asshole.
I don't give a rat's
Racisms.
piss where you're from.
You and your kind are nothing but trouble. Keep walking.
Hey, mister.
Racism's happening.
I'm so hungry. Please.
Beat
I
it,
haven't eaten
kid.
for days. I'll take anything you got. Please.
I don't have any food. Piss off.
Our hero. Now the child will become one with the trash. Absorbed straight into it. That's all because of you, Connor.
I'm looking for a guy named Arnie.
Fuck you. Never heard of him.
Our hero.
Shit. Show him this. Tell him Boone sent us.
Hey, Connor, relax. Where's Boone?
A violent
Who's the new
thug.
guy?
Plan changed. Can you still get us into the depot?
Yeah, you know, the administrative buildings.
No, it has to be where they keep the buses. The tracking beacons have to be nearby.
Yeah, I can get you in, but you have to stick close and do exactly like I say. Follow me.
So then that person's just writhing on the floor in pain. That just emphasizes how much of a violent thug Connor is.
You sure you can get my family out of here?
Oh god, he's
Resistance
awful.
remembers its
Why are we friends with him? Why are we
I
following
hope
him?
so. I got a teenage daughter. Bad things can happen to a girl in a place like this.
You ought to teach her to shoot. Women got just as much to fight for.
Are you nuts? No way is my kid joining the resistance.
I thought there'd be more guards.
He must have heard you coming.
What the hell is this?
Very funny.
It's a holding area for the buses, you know, somewhere to wait before you're shipped to the shale mines.
And it's just unlocked. You don't need a key.
Don't worry about it. I took care of it. It's what an inside man's for, right?
Turnstile. You don't have keys to this. Now this man is being painted as shifty. Because he's acting shifty. But oh noes.
Shit.
Son of a bitch.
Fuck you, I got kids. Besides, they cut me a better
We
deal.
could have helped you.
It's over. Face it, the Koreans won. It's over.
Oh noes. So this game is now painting caring about your family as evil and a sin. Which makes it even weirder. Apparently headshots don't kill, but makes sense. But luckily it spawns us forwards. It spawns us after the sequence, so we don't have to go through the awful slow-mo sequence. It's just like, oh noes, the thing is happening. So now we're... Luckily the cutscenes don't go on for too long. We can just carry on doing the shoot a bit. And actually are allowed to play the game. The game.
Machine gun, first floor.
Oh, someone's audio just cut there. A massive split.
Machine gunners, first floor.
Oh no, it's my legs. Someone shot me in the legs there, my legs are fine.
Clear that house. Come on, those beacons gotta be inside.
That's not how necks work, but I'll let you have that. Game.
Fucking. We found the beacons.
What?
Then let's get the hell out of here.
So it skipped past the bit of dialogue where he just insults a dead man for trying to defend his family because someone offered him a better deal. The communist regime offered him a better deal to save his daughter than the heroes.
Come on, it's just up ahead.
That says something when our protagonist isn't as good as the regime he's fighting against. But I think this next sequence that's coming up, if I recognise it, sets up a story thing that doesn't pay off, and also establishes, you know, it enforces the idea that this is an oppressive, evil regime. So, trigger warning for this next segment. The game's gonna make us look at a mass grave and lots of dead bodies, and it's literally gonna rub our faces into it, so if you don't want to see that, I completely understand, so look away from the horrible game. But yeah, mass graves.
What the
lovely.
Fuck?
We should turn back.
Thrown into a pit like garbage. How many people are in this ditch? You sons of bitches. Scumbag motherfuckers! You motherfuckers!
And it says it's shooting. So that could be a really effective sequence if it wasn't ruined by how glitchy and, you know, just how bad this game is. Is that that's what's upsetting. And the voice acting as well is just a joy. Whoever was voicing Connor, I can't recognise his name, who it might be, but they were definitely having fun. That little animation is what happens when an AI gets hit by a grenade, so they think everything turns stinky, and they rub their nose for a bit. I remember when I initially played this, all kinds of enemies do throw grenades in this game, and because it has emphasis on cover, you get killed a lot and you die quickly from gunfire, so if someone throws a grenade at your feet, you're more or less dead, which is not something you want your game to be. You don't want instant game overs, because they're not fun for a player. But like that was alright. I managed to get into cover for bullets. The problem is that cover's not properly, it's not at the right height to actually duck behind, so you have to go prone, which you forget happens because these types of games don't normally have that. Like, going prone isn't really a thing that people think of in first-person shooters. Also, the bloom makes it impossible to see. Alright, let's make for the mistake that they put in video games to look like films that made that mistake. AKA lens flares. This is the period where they video game people thought video games were films, and to make it like films, they put in film-like mistakes like lens flares, which are obnoxious and horrible, and they stop you from seeing, which is something you don't want in an FPS where you have to look around. And that death was totally my mistake. But it's something really obnoxious that I normally turn off in games. Because eyes don't work that way. You can't... just because everything's dark around you and there's one bright light doesn't mean you can't look at the bright light. It illuminates everything around it, but apparently all lights are lasers. If they're not like ambient lighting that's around the level. So even though that looks like you can see me because like the lens flare, a good way to tell if you're being targeted by a line of sight thing in a game is the lens flare. If you get the lens flare, it means it's pointed directly at you, because that's how lens flares work. If you point a torch or a flashlight directly at a camera lens, then the light refracts on the different sheets of glass that make up the lens, and they sort of magnify, and that's how you get the lens flare. That's why you see several rings. It's the light dispersing across the several rings and changing its speed so that you get it refracted, and that's how a lens flare is. And if it all lines up, then I guess you could mean that the torch is, or the laser is pointed directly at you. But in this game, they just seem to emanate anyway. Like it's like an entity around the actual light, and it's not ambient light they have. It's just areas of the map that they've lit up. Right, those lights aren't going to cast a shadow.
Jesus, Connor.
Sorry, the story's trying to rub us in our face that how evil it all is, and wants us to look at dead bodies, which isn't pleasant.
What do we do?
Get in.
What?
Get in.
And it's literally going to rub our face in it.
Come on, Hopper, get up. They're coming.
Look away now if you don't like these things. I should have said that earlier, but now it's going to get worse.
Jacobs, get in. Now.
And yeah, we put that over our glasses, I guess. And Connor, because he's an evil, disgusting pervert, lies a dead woman on top of him, like they're in post-coitus cuddling. God, I hate this game. The character telling us not to breathe, so we don't get heard or seen out loud. Luckily none of that hits, but the way this is framed, it tells me that this is setting him up to be like the final boss of the game. Like the game's going to work towards us fighting him. It doesn't.
We're gonna be late. Just sit tight.
Because it's awful.
We'll meet you back at the school.
So thanks game for rubbing that in. It's over now. No, it's not.